All right, we are back. Reconvene. I'll start with our land acknowledgement. We recognize that the Mount Diablo Unified School District sits on the territory of the Confederated Villages of Lisjan, the ancestral and unceded land of the Bay Miwok and Northern Yokut, the successors of the sovereign Verona Band of Contra Costa County. As members of the MDUSD community, it is vitally important that we not only recognize the history of the land on which we learn, but also we recognize that the land we inhabit and learn on is the ancestral land of these people who are alive and flourishing members of MDUSD and broader Bay Area communities today. You can rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Six point two, review and potential approval of the minutes for a regular board meeting.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes as submitted.
Second.
Trustee Nava Flores,
Yes.
I know.
Yeah, there seems to be.
I don't think she's seen. There we go. Yeah. And that passes unanimously. 6.3, review and potential approval of the agenda.
Madam President, I'm requesting that we move item 12.1 to item 10.2.
That's cool. Do we have to make a motion? Well, that's fine. And then now approve the agenda, moving 12.1 to 10.2.
I make a motion, we approve the agenda with the suggested changes.
Second.
Trustee Nava Flores,
Yes.
that passes unanimously. Report 7.0, report out on actions taken in closed session. 7.1, negotiations. We discussed negotiations, received information. 7.2, discipline, dismissal, release, or reassignment of public employee. We just received information. And 7.3, readmission. A move to approve the readmission of student 3-23 to regular schools in the Mount Diablo Unified School District. Upon a roll call vote being taken, the vote was 5-0. The motion carried 5-0. I think I read it correctly. Okay, 7.4, admission of student B23.
Madam Chair, I move to approve the admission of student B-23 to regular schools in Mount Diablo Unified School District. Prior to admission, student B-23 is required to meet the following conditions: participate in 20 hours of individual counseling to address anger management, decision-making, and show evidence of a successful school experience with no suspendable infractions, maintain at least a 2.0 GPA, and have 90% attendance rate.
Second.
Thank you. And that passes 5-0. Okay. We're going to move to public comment 8.1. The public may address the board regarding any item not on the agenda. So we have a lot of fabulous students in the audience. Does anyone still need to turn in a comment card? Because if you want to make a comment, you got to turn in the card. 23. Okay. So we have a lot, which means we have to reduce the amount of time you have. So we're going to reduce the amount of time to 1 minute. My best advice is if someone has said what you already said, don't repeat that. Add to it. So if someone said the sky is blue, you don't have to say that. You can say, I agree with that. And there's 10 birds in the sky, if that makes sense. So just build on to what you hear so that all the points are getting across in the limited time you have. Trustee McFerrin really hates cutting people off, but she will. So, yeah. So, yeah. Oh, sorry. Who's first? Lucky number 1. Kevin Fuller. Welcome.
Am I on? This is my 1 minute. Hi, my name is Kevin Fuller, and I'd like to thank the board and the superintendent for hearing my concerns today. We've been told that there's been a decision made to eliminate the academies from our school district. This would be a great mistake. If you are here in support of saving academies today, please stand. These people are not here by chance. This is important to them. My goal in speaking to you today is for the board to influence the decision to renew academies. The next point is to get on the school board's agenda to receive documented board support for our academies. I'd like to make a note here that some of the academies like ours is a forever academy. And so as long as we renew each year, then the $85,000 to $74,000 that brings to our school and our students continues to be a funding. If we cut that off, even for 1 year, it goes away. It does not come back. That was my 1 minute.
A little bit more of it.
It goes fast. So,
Okay.
so for everyone following, I also suggest you write it down and you just get through it. And you send it in writing to our emails because we get it. Elena Mandel.
Hi, thank you. For the academies, there's been a level of obfuscation for why we are getting not another chance or why we're getting removed or cut. And every 3 months, we get different information on that. Makes it very difficult to strive to prove ourselves. We're constantly juggling targets for that. One of the comments was an equity in scheduling for students. I have not one, but 2 solutions for that. No one is interested in solutions from what I've heard. People are open to it, but because of the obfuscation, we have not had a chance to present that to you, to the district, not even to everybody at my site, but they are interested. What we need is a chance and transparency and clarity on the metrics that you deem worthy of a successful academy, not smoke and mirrors. That's what we have received.
Thank you.
Give us a chance.
Thank you.
That's time. Thank you.
Estefani Arias.
Hi, everyone. I'm Stephanie, and I want to talk about why IHTS should stay. IHTS has been the most incredible academy I have been. I feel like you guys are not fair to us because you're taking something to us that belongs to us. I it's not easy for you guys. It's easy for you guys to remove the academies. For to us, it's not easy to let go of the academies. It's hard. It's a hard decision to let go of something that you like. For once in my life, I'm using my voice for something that I love. I'm here to support the academy, and we are here to be heard in this community. I hope you guys give us a chance and one more chance that we are here to support as a team. And yeah, academy is is beautiful at academy. We work as a team. We um we communicate with others, and this academy has taught me to not lose hope in life because I know one day I'm gonna open up my own restaurant just because of the academy. Thank you.
Thank you. Amethyst Alvarez.
Okay. I'm Amethyst. I'm in the IHTA Academy. And one main reason why it's so important to me to keep them is it taught me how to commit to something and really work with other people. Most of my friends entering high school were in a bunch of other academies. I was the only one in IHTA and I stuck to it. I made so many friends. I got to go on trips, get more opportunities to cook in the kitchen and like kind of run a restaurant, which I've never thought I could do. The teachers are amazing and like really supportive. Even if you don't want to pursue like culinary, they give you hope to do what you want to do in life. And I think that's what makes Mount very different from other schools. Having the academies is what made me want to go there. It's very important. And it's the one thing that makes Mount Diablo a community. So I think it'd be a great decision to keep it.
Thank you. David Liddy.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As a businessman, a business owner in Concord, a Rotarian that's been involved with the Mount Diablo High Schools for decades, Ignatia Valley High School as well. Forced academies don't work. Academies do work. They're collaborative, they're integrative. We've seen the results. We've participated with hundreds of thousands of dollars to help both schools over the years graduate men and women, young men and women that go to schools, and out of the academies, they achieve more. They have an integrated approach. The teachers have choice, the students have choice. When forced to do something, not such a great idea. But the goal would be for you as leaders here to not make a decision behind closed doors, but actually put an agenda item on it, put the business members right in front of you as well, and let us speak to this as well. This is why we get involved in our public schools. By having the Mount Diablo Business and the Educational Alliance, we get to be involved as businesses as well. So not just a Rotarian, but as a business owner, I get to be involved in a really incredible space at Mount Diablo High School, one of 2 student-run restaurants in the state of California. There's value in that. There's value in the academy, not just pathways necessarily, but an integrative collective space where teachers and students work together to teach together in a smaller, more collaborative space. So please,
Thank you.
put it on the agenda at large. Thanks.
Gail Van Tassel.
Speaking on a completely different subject, my apologies.
No worries.
My name is Gail Van Tassel. I'm here from the Concord Historical Society, also a retired teacher from this district. We are going to be running a summer camp for current 3rd graders and 4th graders starting June 13th through the 16th on the historic Galindo Home and Gardens area. It is free to all those students. They'll start with the indigenous people, the Chipcon. We'll go through that. And they'll continue on through Don Salvio Pacheco, the founders. We'll take a tour of the house, the Galindo home that was built in 1856. We'll visit the new museum in the former Masonic temple, and we will be offering this for free. So we hope and in my minute that I can possibly drop off applications through here or possibly give it to you so you can put it through your Friday letter and it could get out to the 3rd and 4th graders. But it's an excellent program. Prior to COVID, we ran it for several years. Kids will be using washboards and butter churns. They'll be grinding, unfortunately not acorns, but grape nuts to give the impression of the grinding stone. So thank you.
Thank you. Leslie Barajas.
Hello, I'm here to speak on behalf of IHTA. I'm a past student and now I actually work at Mount with the IHTA program. And I just want to say that I think it's a good idea that we continue it because as you can see, it's a cycle where I want to continue to do what they did for me. I want to continue to let these kids experience something that you don't get in other high schools. You create a community within this small group and you get to have something that you get a family in the end. And I think they should experience all the trips, all the projects that we've gotten to do. We've gotten to collaborate with Contra Costa, different activities such as working with the mayor. I remember we got to do a couple activities like that. And I think it's well for them to experience things like this. Thank you.
Thank you. Lynn Valdez.
Good evening. Last May, we found out that Mr. Walters, the college career advisor at College Park High School, failed to submit the scholarship applications of multiple students to their awarding committees. A formal complaint was submitted. We were told a change would be made immediately, yet nothing has changed. I'm tired of the lip service. Nothing ever changes and no one ever follows through. Maybe this is not a big deal to district employees, but I bet $2,500 or $5,000 would be important to any student here who's going off to college. Enough empty words. Stop ignoring the parents when they send emails. Start taking action. You've seen my emails and I don't plan to stop until I get the information I've requested. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, it's two people. That's why I paused. Damaris Ramirez and Valencia Vasquez. Are you talking together? You still only get 1 minute. Okay. I like to see the support.
Hello, our names are Damaris Ramirez and Vale Vasquez. We are both sophomores in Mount Diablo High School. We are here to share why academies should not be taken. In our experience after quarantine and starting our first year of high school, we would say being in academies have given us a group to be surrounding ourselves with. It has given us opportunities to build bonds and relationships with classmates that we have the same interests. We have built many relationships and memories. We have built a lot of things together so far, and we wish to have more of these through the next 2 years of our high school experience.
Getting rid of the academies would be a huge change for all of us, students and teachers. As some teachers have been working at the school for so long, they have poured their hearts out into these academies. For example, Chef Kevin, he has done so much for IHTA, and it would be so devastating to see it all disappear next year. Academies have made school more enjoyable as they help us students see school as an experience rather than us having the mindset to get high school over with and graduate.
We aren't just here to talk about ourselves and what we think. We're also here to talk about alumni, teachers, current students, and upcoming students for their high school experience as well. We hope you rethink your decision. Thank you.
Thank you. Tori Umana Almaraz.
Superintendent Clark and members of the board. As a student of Mount Diablo High School, a school known for its diverse population, especially as a predominantly Hispanic institution, I can say with full confidence that removing the academies as an option for students will do more harm than good. It will lessen the opportunities that typically underfunded and underrepresented people will have. Many of us are well aware that Mount Diablo holds a certain reputation compared to the rest of the schools in the district. But not only have I seen barely any effort from MDUSD to change that, but there's a plan to take down the one thing that makes Mount Diablo High School unique, the academy system. When I toured Mount Diablo as an 8th grader with my middle school class, a big part of Mount that eased students' anxiety about entering high school was the academy system. DSA, IHTA, MBTA, the now disbanded ACME, and the World Academy. It provides students with an opportunity to explore their interests and future career goals, and we have an opportunity to confidently send students of color into college or into the workforce when they graduate. Yet we are holding them back. The relationships that I made in my academy have helped me even now as a senior about to graduate. I feel that I wouldn't have gone as far as I have without my academy. As I wrap up my time here, I encourage everyone to think about what it means to remove the academies, especially for those it affects the most, the students. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Jericho Elipio.
Good evening. I am a senior from Mount Diablo, and I am here to voice my support for MBTA, standing in Mount Diablo. MBTA is a unique and special environment for students like myself. It is a place that builds a wealthy foundation of knowledge and skills in the medical field. It is a place that enhances our foundation, grows our confidence, and allows us to meet like-minded peers. Being an MBTA student has taught me many vital skills that gives me confidence in my career path. And as you can tell, I am wearing a Team Cert vest. This cert vest would not have been possible without Dr. Pintado, who has pushed forth and allowed our course to be possible in Mount Diablo. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Daniel Armando Garcia.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Daniel Garcia, and I'm a senior at Mount Diablo High School. And I'm here today because I believe that keeping our academies is important for the students at Mount Diablo High School because it creates pathways for our students for their future cases and helps us find ourselves as people. In my personal experience, being a former member of ACME, once they got rid of ACME, they canceled an event like Academy Night, which I found pretty enjoyable. And it also led to a lot of our favorite teachers to leave. Our academies are a community and a family where you can create bonds with people and create opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you. Kathleen Krentz.
Thanks. It's good to see you. And I'm here speaking on behalf of PFLAG of Clayton Concord, which I'm president currently. We are in the second year of an amazing partnership, community partnership with the IHT Academy. Not only is the amazing catering produced and the service, but also more informal events. Some of you might be aware that we did Friendsgiving. This is a place where people can congregate and be in a safe space, and to jeopardize the funding for this would just be devastating to the partnership. It would dissolve it. Please reconsider. Thank you.
Natalie Jindoyan.
Good evening, everyone. I just want to say thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak today. I am an International Hospitality and Tourism Academy alumni from the year of 2008. I am proud to be here today to speak to you on behalf of the Academy. IHTA has taught so many, especially from my class and beyond, so many life skills, team building, and it has become a foundation for so many of the students who are part of it. And anchored in that is Chef Kevin Fuller, who has carried this program for years, along with Chef Judy Moon and at the time, Debbie Allen. For years, the program has either been underfunded or the positions have not been filled. It is terrible to hear what is happening today. I hope that you all reconsider and bring forth an agenda item where we can come and speak to you again as to why we believe it's so important. Hopefully that you can fund this program in its entirely. The students within the IHTA program have participated in community events and even helped with the crab feeds that the elected officials from through this county put together. So I say this to say, please reconsider your decisions that you're making, and please be transparent. The students deserve it. Mount Diablo as a school
Thank you.
benefits from the academy system. Thank you.
Kevin Gonzalez.
Good afternoon. Thank you for this moment to bring you up a couple of things that I've had in mind. I am an Air Force vet. I have got my AA, my BBA, and my MBA, and that would have not happened without my time here at IHTA. I was here during the early 2000s, graduated in 03, and I am a firm believer that if it wasn't people like Chef Kevin, Judy Moon, Jeannie Osu, Mr. Carlson, plenty of instructors that we had in the academy at the time, that I would not be here with everything I've been able to gain. There is a value to this academy. We have a family here. We come here, they see potential in us, they help us reach our full potential. And by taking that away from these kids, I think you guys are doing something that's very incorrect. You have to find a way to fund this academy and all the academies. Because I was lucky enough to have this academy. My brother went to Digital Safari Academy at the time. My middle brother graduated from ISTA. Like, this is a long-term thing. Again, graduated in 03. It warms my heart to see all these kids today to support the academy, support Chef Kevin. Please do what you can to save this academy.
Thank you. Miguel Trevino.
Hello there, good afternoon. I am Miguel Trevino, and first I'd like to thank the board and the superintendent for letting me speak today. I'd like to say on my part of the support of the academies in Mount Diablo High School and how I would like them to continue to not only continue to exist, but possibly grow into the future. I was DSA, my sister was also part of the academy system, and I'd say that if you change the academies and move them this next year, you're not only changing my sister's continuation to her third year when she had an academy for 2 years, but also countless other students are still in their own academies and they have their own friends, lifestyle, and their own goals to look forward to. And all of a sudden, all that disappearing in the flash of an eye the next year, and they have to decide on what classes to pick and what teachers to teach with, and teachers to learn with, and students to be friends with. So I would like to just say that just to keep an eye open, keep it open, and make sure that the students not only have a good high school life, their greatest years of their lives, but also just a fun life in general, where they can have friends, they have families and groups with to strive towards their ideal. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Nikki Morrison Fountain.
All right, let me know everybody's ready. Okay. Hi, my name is Nicole Morrison Fountain. I'm a graduate of 2003. I was part of the IHTA, the International Hospitality and Tourism Academy. My sister was a graduate in 2011 at Mount Diablo and was part of the DSA, the Digital Safari. Now, I want to tell you that we came from a single family, single parent household. And we had experienced a lot of domestic violence that was going on in our household. And it happened in high school. I mean, I had it before, but it happened in high school. And I want to say that the support and the life skills and the overall, just the things that Chef Kevin has done for me and many of the other students you've here today, like, it's not just an academy. It's not just a community. It really is a family. I mean, the communities are families in a way, right? But my biggest thing is, like, this is not only like sad to hear that the guys are trying to, like, not you all, but they're trying to get rid of the academies, but these are like basically the keystone to our community and everything. And darn, 1 minute does go really fast. But I just wanted to say that, you know, there was a lot of life skills that and the support. You're going to hear it. I don't have to say anymore.
Thank you. Autumn Blackling Ridge. Autumn. Okay.
Hi, and thank you. I graduated 21 years ago, and the IHTA saved my life. They gave me a safe place to be. They gave me family when I didn't have one. The skills and the life lessons I learned while I was in that academy, I still use today. And I do strongly mean they saved my life. I would not be here without them. So please reconsider and fund this program. If you need more support from the community, let us know, because all of us and many more will be right here to help. Thank you.
Thank you. Ava Pradhan.
Good evening, everyone. I'm a senior at Mount Diablo High School, and I represent the MBTA. This is my first year at Mount Diablo High School, but if I had been at Mount and been involved in its academies, I would have had more opportunity to get hands-on experience, take courses that piqued my interest, and learn skills that would have helped me in my future career. If these academies are taken away, I believe these students will become less confident in real-world situations and lose the opportunity to explore different career paths, see what they have to offer, and what they want to do with their rest of their lives. When I first arrived at Mount, I had no idea what I wanted to do in the future. But because of MBTA, I joined Sports Medicine Club and Teen Star program, and I figured out that I wanted to be in the medical field and be out there serving my community. If in just a year, these academies and these teachers can help me out this much, just think about how much more I could have gained in 4 years. In closing, please reconsider your decision to shutter all the technical and career academies at Mount. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Fatima Shakur. Sorry, I can't read some of the handwriting. I didn't see a K in there. Thank you. Welcome.
Hello, I speak for me as well as many of my peers when I say that the Medical and Biotechnology Academy at Mount Diablo High School is of utmost significance to me and many of my colleagues. I have learned about all the facets of the medical industry than I could have ever imagined, as it has helped me develop as a student. MBTA has set up so many opportunities for us students at this school, such as workshops, field trips, and many clubs to further your zeal and enthusiasm for the medical field, including sports medicine and HOSA. If this academy weren't there when I first started high school, I definitely would not have known what classes to select. I strongly believe that MBTA has been a foundation, if you will, helping me set in stone my classes, already filling up my schedule with classes related to my selected pathway. It would be such a shame to take away these amazing opportunities, as the younger generation won't have the opportunity to further grow their passion and have these once-in-a-lifetime experiences in high school. Thank you.
Thank you. Isai Espinoza.
Good evening, everyone. So I am here to speak upon the MBTA Academy. So initially, 8th grade year, we were taught or shown to select an academy. I always had an interest in the medical biotechnology, so I chose MBTA. If it wasn't for Dr. Pintado or any other MBTA teacher, I wouldn't have the interest and the grit to keep doing what I'm doing today. I've learned how to stop bleedings, treat trauma wounds, take care of patients. Above all else, I've learned how to really use the lessons that were taught in our classrooms to put them forward into my workplace. I work 3 days a week, and even then, I use what I'm taught in school from my academy to really implement them into the workplace. So it's not just about leaving a legacy for myself, but it's for following generations that use those same skills and knowledge to put themselves in a place where the world may put them, and they can put themselves out. We're learned and taught how to use our skills in the real world more than just in school. Thank you.
David Pintado. David Pintado.
Good evening, everyone. Dr. Clark, Board of Trustees, thank you so much. Well, first of all, I want to talk
with different hats. My first hat is as a teacher. I'm here as a teacher of students that, I'll be honest, I didn't ask them to come. They came by themselves, punctual, by the way. Number two, my second hat is as a parent, because I have children in the district that I've been wishing to join a pathway in the academy too. My third hat is as a coach, because I provide some coaching. Also, I need of services that students are providing when they're being trained in sports medicine. I'm also here with another hat as a business partner, because part of the academy also allow my business to be embedded in the classes, and my students are able to do internships, and I pay them for that. So all these opportunities that students have within the academy, I definitely see that there are risks if academy goes away. Now, pathways, we don't have a pathway. We have two pathways in our academy, so it's nothing new for us. So again, I just came here to tell you, Board Trustees and Dr. Clark, that whatever you feel is correct, we're gonna fight. If it's not correct, we're gonna fight for it. But again, you need to know that, look all this, okay?
Thank
you so much. Bye-bye.
No. Noor Al Forsland.
Hello, good evening. My name is Nora Forsland, and I'm actually an alumni of the class of 2004. And I just want you to please reconsider to not take away lifelines. I actually was part of the anatomy, physiology, biotechnology class, and apparently has been changed to something else. I was given the opportunity to do an internship where I think it was called Mount Diablo Hospital at the time, worked at the cancer center. My brother, Joe Clare, was part of the ROTC, and he was part of the IHTA program, won a lot of competitions. And if it wasn't for the IHTA, and I can kind of speak on his behalf, if it wasn't for Chef Kevin and also Miss Moon, he really wouldn't be here today also. So really consider that if you make the choices that it sounds like you're going to make, you're definitely pushing people to even lose their lives. So consider that when you make this decision. Thank you.
Thank you. Judy Moon.
Good evening. My students used to say practice makes perfect. And I would tell them only perfect practice makes perfect. You cannot run an academy the wrong way and expect the results you want. If you would look at the statistics from some time ago before Mount went to wall academy, you would find this figures would be quite different. And the success rate of the students would be much better than some people have indicated. So I think it's a big thing to have teachers have a choice. Students have to have a choice. Not every teacher belongs in the academy, nor do they want to. But when you have a team that works together, everyone achieves more. You have better teachers. And ROP brought a component to this district where business partners thrived. Together with business and community service is embedded this thing called leadership skills. And if you want to accomplish the impossible, you have to be able to see the invisible. And what has happened is a loss of vision for academies.
Thank you.
And so I
Thank you very
implore
much.
you
Thank you, Ms. Moon.
to save students. There's
Please
an
don't
old
make me turn off the
Chinese
mic.
proverb.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
We
sorry.
heard you. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Nyla
Reg-
Nyla? Nilab? Nilab. Ah, that's a B. Thank you. Nilab, thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Nila Brazai, and I'm representing MBTA, and I'm part of Teen Search, which stands for Community Emergency Response Team. And I am part of the health plan at our school, and only our school has this
program that helps out the natural disasters around your community and your school. And it have not been for MBTA, I have not been joined this program or have been coordinated our team. I am also the student coordinator of this program. And this program, this MBTA Academy has given me so much opportunities, such as internships at John Muir, Kaiser Health Clinic, and East Bay CPR, which I did with Mr. Pintado. And I have done workshops at UC Berkeley. If it has not been because of MBTA, I have not gotten these opportunities. And I would like you guys to please reconsider and help us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Is it Lolly Garcia?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Itlali. I'm a student at Mount Diablo High School. I'm here to talk about the importance of the Medical and Biotechnology Academy.
Can you speak closer to the microphone? Thank you.
This academy is part of STEM. It offers several science credits and has trained me for more jobs than just nursing in the medical profession, numerous internships and volunteering work. Because of this academy, my classmates and I have received numerous scholarships to continue our education. MBTA allows students to explore the medical field. Thanks to teachers like Ms. Johnson Shaw and Dr. Pintado's encouragement, I'm not only looking into nursing, but more events degrees. I believe this academy creates an opportunity for women to explore more math and science classes and hands-on laboratory works that the UCs are looking for in a student's transcripts. If you remove MBTA, you are denying students like myself the opportunity to be of service to our community and to obtain their educational goals. Thank you.
Thank you. Jafria Whitfield.
Good evening, Dr. Clark and the school board. I am here once again on behalf of elementary instrumental music in our district. I've heard that the board has no plans to bring back fourth grade instrumental music at this time, that we are doing other things. I have a word for you. Do the other things, but bring this program back. Prop 28 has passed and the funding is there. It is tailor-made to reinstate this program. One of the purposes of Prop 28 is to supplement, not supplant. Prop 28 is our funding solution. The time is now. The community has spoken. Over 3,000 signatures we presented to you last year. The time is now to hire music teachers. We need to reinstate our team and have 6 new music teachers, giving us a total of 12. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. We did it. That concludes public comments. I don't think there's any other cards dangling. Okay. Thank you. So that concludes public comments. When things are not on the agenda, we as the board aren't able to comment or have a discussion, which is an example of how we cannot do things behind closed doors, which is some of the things that I heard. So there's nothing more that you're going to hear from us on this topic this evening. So if you are going to go, now is a great time because it's going to be, a mass exodus and noisy, but thank you so much for coming, making your way here and sharing with us your thoughts.
For the fourth grade.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, that's right here.
Then folks should sign up for the music strategic planning sessions in June. All are welcome. And just so you know, Mark, you're going to be up. Aren't you proud? Are you proud? Were you proud? I said, was you proud? Yeah,
Well, you want to? Okay.
yeah, they did. Great. Oh, he doesn't get a timer. Mike, Mike, you're gonna be up. So Mark Jones. Oh, I didn't announce it. Sorry. Communications, district organizations. At regular board meetings, a single spokesperson of each recognized district organization may make a brief presentation. Items are limited to those which are informational. Hello.
Thank you. Hello. And I do plan to be brief. Dr. Clark, board members. It's been a little while since I've been to a board meeting, so good to see you all here. I came tonight really just to recognize two things. Number one being the work that has been accomplished over the past year, which we're very thankful for. I think we've made a lot of good work, had a lot of good work, and made a lot of positive steps with 4 side letters that addressed some serious needs of the district. It addressed the serious needs of food service members who were at the minimum wage and who have now received significant increases. We made steps with the custodians, getting 18 new positions and adjusting some of the salary schedule around that. Those positions have yet to be filled, though, however, and maybe I'll get that in part 2 of what I need to say. With the IT department, there was vastly overdue job descriptions and needed updating. We're talking about job descriptions that used to have floppy disks in them, and then was actually turned into a restructure, which I think is really geared to benefit the district and the students in the district. Landscape department as well. It's been a new restructure there that has allowed some more teamwork there with a still very low FTE in the landscape department, but the restructuring and the work we did was a positive thing. And the second thing I wanted to say tonight is that there is a lot of good work in front of us still. And that is that just I would really just came here to really recognize that work tonight. We know that in maintenance and operations with our skilled trade workers, they're working as a skeleton crew. They've been tasked to do more with less for a long time, and a lot of this was created across the years of chronic understaffing and sort of balancing the budget without classified staff in mind. I mean, I hate to say it that way, but that's what it was. And now, again, back to recognizing the good work we've done in the last year, the district has had the ability to make some moves. I'm here to say tonight that's good work. We have more work to do, and I think we have the ability to do it. And just recognizing the areas where it needs to get done, and understanding that there's a need, not just for our members to survive in the Bay Area for greater increases in salary. There's an actual need of the district to even attract people. Our custodians that I mentioned before, we did create 18 new positions. We haven't been able to fill one because of the backfilling issue. Because once they move around and do the musical chairs, who's going to fill them? Because it's not going to be the person coming in and making $17.60. Don't quote me, but it's right around there. And that's the issue that's at hand right now. That's a district issue, and that ultimately it goes to the students, because we had a FCMAT report and we understand the problems now. We understand where the deficiencies are and where they need to be addressed. We're saying tonight the good work is in front of us. We're here and we're ready to do it. And that's all we really have to say tonight. And I just thank you for your time.
Thank you. 10.1, review and potential approval of resolution 22-2350 in recognition of Earth Day and a call to action for climate change.
I'm very excited to bring this resolution in front of the board. Resolution 22/23-50 in recognition of Earth Day and a call to action on climate change. Whereas the global impact, urgency, and magnitude of the challenge of addressing climate change calls for leadership in all sectors of society, all institutions, and all elected leaders. Whereas 97% of scientists agree that climate change is real and human-induced. And whereas global emissions of greenhouse gases needed to begin to fall by 7.6% each year beginning in 2020 in order to meet the most ambitious goals of the Paris Agreement to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. And now, therefore, and there's many pages to this, which I just want to recognize. And therefore, be it resolved that the Mount Diablo Unified School District Board of Education hereby recognizes April 22nd, that's coming up, as Earth Day, reaffirming our commitment to be part of the climate change solutions and to educate our students about climate change. And be it further resolved that the Mount Diablo Unified School District Board of Education calls on all elected leaders to take an expedient and hold action and bold action on climate change to protect and preserve current and future generations. And be it further resolved that this resolution be distributed to all schools within the district. Madam President, this resolution is now in the hands of the board.
Thank you.
So I want to add on into what the resolution has. In the section, it says encouragement of environmental K-12 education and climate science. To add on to this resolution, as a current student in today's society, that will be here in the future, so we'll experience the effects of climate change, but also live throughout the resolutions that we come up with. It's really important to provide our students the resources, the opportunities, the extracurriculars, and where they can expand their climate science learning and also their STEM learning, because essentially climate change comes back to STEM. How we can improve, how we can create new structures and long-term solutions. And so I want to just open this up to all students in our school district to look into summer programs, to look into extracurricular activities that involve being a part of climate science and expanding their STEM knowledge. Like I mentioned in the beginning of the school year, I am a current third-year scholar of the Summer Math and Science Honors Academy, UC Berkeley, and they have locations all over California and nationwide. I competed in nationalities and won third place. In this, it's really important to encourage our students to continue their learning inside and outside of school. So I want to also let everyone know that in the student board members Instagram account, there is a link to a Linktree, and that Linktree provides connections with students of community opportunities and resources that are currently happening and available for all students. In that Linktree, there is a section of extracurricular and summer programs, and there is a designated section of STEM summer programs. So if you're interested, check it out. There's a whole list that goes nationwide. And when I wanted to share this opportunity with everyone.
Thank you.
Madam President, I'd like to make the motion of review and potential approval of resolution 22/2350 in recognition of Earth Day and a call to action on climate change.
I'll second that.
Trustee Nava Flores.
Yes.
That passes unanimously.
Thank you. And I'd just like to recognize that this resolution is something that has been created and added to over the years with help of our students, our staff, and our community partners to really be updating people on what our sustainability initiatives are within this district. So encourage people to read actually the whole resolution on their own time as well. Thanks.
All right.
10.2.
Yeah, superintendent's report. So I had my superintendent's report moved up early because we have some visitors and I didn't want them staying out too late. But they're at the tail end of my report. So just you got to sit through the report.
Hold tight.
So I wanted to make sure I had an audience for my report. Often I lose people. So I have a captive audience. So oh boy. All right. So first of all, just as always, just really highlighting our LCAP goals. It is critical as we do this important work that we all understand what our goals are and that we're all working working towards the same end game. And I'm not going to read them in their entirety, but just maybe a couple words from each goal. You know, goal one really is that all students will receive high quality education. And that's all students, every background, every age, every ethnicity, every socioeconomic level, every student group that they are identified by. And then goal number two is that high quality, culturally proficient and responsive staff will provide that instruction and those educational experiences. So it really does focus on the staff. Goal one focuses on the students. Goal two focuses on the staff. Goal three really focuses on our partners, which is our parents, family, and community, and making sure that we're communicating with them and that they are engaged in this process. Goal four, because of our lack of progress with certain student groups, we want to call this out. And we're talking specifically about our Black African-American students, our foster youth, and our students experiencing homelessness. I could add special education and I could add students emerging bilingual, but we haven't technically been in differentiated assistance with those groups, but it's probably coming down the line. But we're calling them out specifically that we need to create programs and a space for those students to be successful. As we look at our triangle, that educational equity piece at the foundation of it is ensuring that every single student in our district is prepared for either college and career or both as they leave our system. And every student is going to need something different. And so we have to be very nimble and very flexible in delivering our services. Over on the left, we have learning acceleration. And that, again, is that high quality, culturally responsive instruction that all of our students receive. And then the social emotional learning really goes back to that partnership with our parents and communities. So in order to achieve that, we need strong and great employees to do that. And so on April 5th, I sent home a letter to all families and all staff, and it was just really highlighting the commitment of this governing board to make sure that they can do all they can to bring our salaries up to where we're never going to be able to pay educators what they should be paid. They should be paid just as professional athletes and just as actors and actresses out there. But in the education system, we want to bring up those salaries of our folks. And so I sent out a letter really recognizing the board for that work and spelling out all of the additions to compensation that's taken place over the past 2 years. And I just clipped the first couple paragraphs from it here, but I just really wanted to formally recognize the board for that commitment and that work, and just let all of our employees know that we value them and we're doing what we can to make sure that they're properly compensated. You know, as we often hear in education, because our students are continually evolving, students today have more resources and a different mindset than students 20 years ago. And usually it can be down to, you know, the iPhone. Every one of our students has a computer in their hands at all times. This wasn't the case 20 years ago, right? So there's always change in education. And I think we heard some of the reaction to that change earlier. It's a scientific method change in schools. And here is here is basically how education change takes place and also how humans respond to change. And so I am going to read this. The change process includes the acceptance, adaptation, and institutionalization of change by individuals, the school organization, and the local school community. Change is not easy. Tradition and familiar routines and practices of schooling are easy and are easy to maintain and follow. So when we ask folks to change, they react to that change. And over on the graph here really shows how humans respond to change. And now you can apply this method here to your regular lives, but I'm going to use this in the school system. When change comes about, there's shock, there's denial, there's anger. We've seen all of these in this boardroom because this is where a lot of change really does take place. Then after that, we have blame, then we begin to bargain, and we have apathy. Then once you realize the change is going to happen, and it is going to happen, you have acceptance, and then you start to explore, how can this change? How can we embrace this change? And how can we make new? How can we make this better? And you start to understand why it happened and how you can make it better. And then you begin to integrate it into your day-to-day, and then you sustain it. And as I was speaking with student trustee Nava Flores, and we were talking about some change that's taken place in our district, I brought up the example of advanced placement classes. And 10, 15 years ago, in order for students to take an advanced placement class, an AP class, they needed to have qualifying grades, they needed to take a test, and they needed to pass an interview with teachers. So many students were excluded from AP classes because of that process. And then when that shift happened, where they said AP classes are open to anyone who wants to take them, we went through that whole thing. There was shock, there was anger, denial. You're killing our AP program. Students are going to fail. It's not going to be equitable. There was huge pushback. Now we don't even consider it. Our AP classes, students want to take AP classes. They enroll, they take them. They may pass, they may fail, they may take the AP exam, they may get a 5, they may get a 3 or whatnot, but it's a system. The change happened. And so as we go through changes in our process and in our systems in the educational world, we have to understand that people are going to go through these feelings here and these actions. And so we just want to be mindful of that. So I wanted to highlight that tonight, just as we've been going through just myriad changes over the last 3 years. And hopefully that is a good thing, because we're looking at data, we're looking at systems, we're looking at new laws and regulations that come out that really create these opportunities for change. So now some of the current stuff, and I know the band teacher left and she's gonna miss this. So the month music in our schools month. Many of us on this board in this room, we had the opportunity to attend the elementary honor and middle school choir over at Pleasant Hill Middle School, and that was a packed house, fabulous evening, and the way that those teachers worked with all those students was just incredible. Within the district, we also had a band and orchestra festival, and that is that wide picture you see there at the bottom, and that happened over at Northgate High School. But it was multiple schools participated. And then over at YV in the right-hand corner, we had our area band festival, where again, gym full of music. So when we talk about music in our schools, we clearly have music in our schools. We may not have 4th grade instrumental music, but we have music throughout our schools. And so we really celebrated that last month. And this, as always, my presentations are posted online, so they're accessible to everybody in the public. But this was brought up to the music teacher who was here earlier, but we do have a strategic arts education planning team, and we have met a few times so far. The dates are at the bottom, February 23rd We met March 21st, and we're going to be doing a 2-day meeting in June 22nd and 23rd. And really the key focus areas are standards aligned arts curriculum and arts integration instruction, vertical articulation of TK through 12, because we do provide arts from TK all the way through 12. They may look different, they may be in different programs, but it's there. Program administration, the leadership within these programs and how we're going to staff them, different partnerships within our district, outside our district, within the community, partnerships and collaborations, and then funding, resources, and any adjustments that we need to make to facilities. That's all taking place in this strategic arts education planning team. So wanted to highlight that. In March, we had 2 of our schools go through the accreditation process. First at Northgate High School on March 19th was their kickoff, was a Sunday, and I just want to recognize the administration, the staff, the students, parents over at Northgate High School for that for the setting up the WASC visit. And again, WASC comes and evaluates our schools to make sure that we can issue diplomas to students who graduate. And so they come in, we do an application and a report. They validate the report, they visit the classrooms, they talk to students, they talk to teachers, they look at our data, and then they make recommendations. A lot of what we heard earlier about Mount Diablo High School is a result of what WASC found. And a lot of the recommendations had to do with that academy structure was preventing students to fully access the curriculum. However, at Northgate, they had their visit. It went very well, and we're waiting on their report. And when we get the WASC report back, there may be some recommendations of adjustments that we have to make at Northgate, or there may be some highlights of some things that they're doing at Northgate that are really special. The other high school that went through this process was College Park, and they had their kickoff on March 26th. And again, same system at College Park. They bring in a team of administrators. They review everything at the school. They talk to students, talk to parents, talk to teachers, staff members, administration, and the College Park team did a great job at preparing for that. And we're waiting for the final reports from both of these schools. So again, want to recognize the leadership at Northgate and the leadership at College Park and all of the folks who contributed, because this is not an easy task. On the 11th, yesterday, we held through our equity and educational services team, we did equity walkthroughs over at Ignacio Valley High School, where we brought all of our secondary principals together and some other administrators, and went to every classroom and visited the class with an equity lens. Things that you would do on an equity walkthrough. You would want to look at the walls, see if the walls reflect the students who are in that particular class. Is their work posted? Are there goals? Are there things on the wall that really indicate what's taking place in those particular classrooms? Is it equitable to all the students there? We had such positive reports from this. I know, YV, YV has gone through changes over the years, but the atmosphere at Ignacio Valley High School from this team was that it was extremely positive. Teachers were extremely positive. The one thing was that wove through that positivity was relationships that teachers are having with students, and really creating that trust and that that caring. I care about you. I care about your success. How can we get through this curriculum together? And that was something that really came out from that. So I really want to highlight the work that's been taking place at YV. I don't think anyone at YV would say that they're there yet, and they can check the box and say we're there. It's a continual process that we'll continue to go through. But did want to highlight that. I also want to highlight that the Concord High School is going to be hosting our Pride Prom, and our Pride Prom is for juniors and seniors attending or eligible to attend any high school in the Mount Diablo Unified School District. So any junior or senior within Mount Diablo High School can go to this prom. Or it's also opened up to Carondelet. For my guests here, we have a private school in Concord, a all-female private school called Carondelet, and they are open to that. And also the all male Catholic High School De La Salle, their students are open to come there. And also a previous Mount Diablo school, but now a charter school, it's open to Clayton Valley High School Charter. We provide the facility, Concord High. We are supportive of this, and we are accepting and want to create a space where our students can come together and enjoy themselves. And these are pictures from last year's event. Great event that will take place on the 22nd. Olympic and Alliance, just, I know we have not only do we have a Teacher of the Year out of YV, we also have a Teacher of the Year out of Olympic, but Olympic was also just recognized by the California Continuation Education Association Plus, CCEA Plus, and they recognized Carrie Buchek as the Counselor Support Person of the Year, and that person will be being recognized at the state level. And so just another feather in the cap for the great work taking place over at Olympic Alliance. Mount Diablo High School, we're very, very proud of our JROTC program over at Mount Diablo High School. And on April 3rd, the battalion went to the JROTC Cadet Leadership Challenge, and you can see all the trophies that they amassed at the bottom there, and the medals that those young students are wearing around their necks. And then also before spring break, Mount Diablo High held a spring celebration. Just really want to acknowledge the student-centered positive atmosphere that's transitioning over at Mount Diablo High School, and we've been very, very pleased with what's taking place over there. Next, we have this partnership going on. We have this German-American Partnership Program, GAPP. We like to use acronyms. And on April 10th, on Monday, April 10th, we welcomed 20 students and 2 teachers from, I don't know, I've been practicing this word all day, but I didn't have anyone to tell me if I was saying it right or wrong. I was just sitting in my office saying it. But Filderstadt. All right, all right. So myself and past mayor, current city council member Kevin Wilk from Walnut Creek, we were part of this group who welcomed our exchange students from Germany. I just want to recognize the Northgate High School staff. I know we have a couple of them here, and the parents, because all these students here are staying with parents in the Northgate area, or maybe some other parents were recruited. I don't know, but I know that they were on Monday. They were getting excited to go. The next day, they were going to be taking a trip out to San Francisco, and hopefully that took place. Hopefully they heeded the warnings and wore jackets and all that stuff. We were telling them it's beautiful here and it's hot and warm, but you go to San Francisco, it's a different ball game. So I know they're here. I think we had some students who wanted to speak to the board or whatnot, but I'm sure you're gonna pop up and introduce what's been going on, and I'm curious to know how we're only 3 days into this, so how's it going? Are we worn out yet?
Going.
Okay.
So
we got
thank
like
you
2
so
weeks.
much. Thank you so much for your time. My name is Nancy Grabo. I'm the German teacher at Northgate High School. They call me Frau Nancy. And we're right into Dr. Clark's part of his report on the LCAPs that we have here. And goal number 2, we are supposed to be culturally relevant. Well, guess what? We're culturally relevant. Students, would you all stand up? Nate, how do I do this? They're all German students. Stand up. There. Half of them are Germans and half of them are Northgate students. Yay! You can sit down. They're here for until April 26th. They are, as Dr. Clark said, they're staying with Northgate families. They went to the top of the Salesforce Tower yesterday. I've never been to the top of the Salesforce Tower. Thank you very much. They're planning a trip to Alcatraz one day. They're going to get a tour from a Northgate alum on the campus of Berkeley, of University of California at Berkeley. I would like to introduce the teachers who are responsible for these wonderful 20 students. This is Frau Leni and Frau Caro. German students always love their German teachers. So they are also, one of them is staying with me, one of them is staying with another family, and they're experiencing the American way of life as well. So I do have, they've chosen a couple of students of their group to talk to you. So I would like to introduce Jérôme, which is a nice French name for a German boy, and Eva. And
so my name is Eva.
And my name is Jerome, and we are German exchange students from the Elisabeth Selbert High School, in Philippstadt.
Yeah. And we would like to thank you all on the behalf of us, like the students and the teachers, for like letting us having this wonderful opportunity to like let to know the American culture and language.
Yeah, we've been here for 3 days and we had an incredible experience and time. So we are looking forward to the next 2 weeks. Yeah. And we want to give special thanks to the teachers and the members of the MDUSD. And yeah, vielen Dank.
Well, we may have some questions. You guys come back up. The board may have some questions. Yeah.
you give them the right answer.
So just off the back, I mean, we want to know grades. What grades are you in, or how old, GPAs, all those good things.
So I'm 17 years old. I'm in grade 11 in Germany, so I'm a junior. We don't have GPA, but I would say I'm a good student.
Yes, so I'm 16 and I'm in year 10. And yeah, so I'm a sophomore.
And also a good.
Hope so.
At your school, sports, drama, music, what do you guys do for activities at your schools?
Yeah, we have a lot of things to do. So we have a lot of sports, competitive also, and yeah, things to do at school to get together. Yeah.
Yeah, we have like this kind of leadership in Germany called the SMV, where like students can like take responsibility and do like their own projects for the school. So we're both like in there and like trying to do good stuff.
That's just like what we have here. Huh? Board, I know I'm taking this up. You guys got something?
Hi, my name is Anai Nava, and I am also 17. I'm also a junior or an 11th grader. And I've been here all my life. So my question for you today is, what has been significantly the biggest difference that you have faced or gone through here in the United States form of education system versus in Germany? And what are some positives, some negatives, and what's some advice that you would give to us?
One thing, there are no windows in classrooms.
Yeah, and for education, I think it's more strict in Germany, and there's a lot of more responsibility for yourself here. Yeah, so you're responsible for your own progress in learning. Yeah.
What is something you would advise us to maybe bring in that you guys have in Germany?
Less homework.
Thank you.
Trustee Nava
Your both of your first time to visit United States?
Yeah.
No, I was in New York before. Yes, as a stop.
All right. You guys are off the hook. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Maybe, do we maybe hear from the teachers? We'd like to hear from the two teachers. No, but that's okay. Come on.
Oh, you have to talk.
Yeah. Yeah, come on.
Then I'd say we'd start with a huge thank you to you guys to make this possible. We are extremely happy to be here, and so are our students.
Do you guys teach a particular subject?
Yeah, German and English.
Oh, okay, so you're,
And
all right.
history.
In history, great, great. And how are our schools compared to your schools out in Germany?
They are much more, I'd say more free-spirited. So the teachers and the students are much more relaxed also in their relationship to each other. So in Germany, it's much more structured. The students take way more subjects. And yes, so I've had the feeling that students in the US are, just as Jerome said before, more responsible for their own progress. And in Germany, we tend to give them less space to choose freely.
But I'd also say you have a great sense of belonging, especially due to your sports teams.
Yes.
This is something we do not have in Germany.
The
I
school
mean, we
spirit.
have our sports teams, but not that much as you have it. So the school spirit here is pretty amazing.
Mascots, so we made them honorary block.
Okay, good, good, good.
I have a question. Previously, I knew some friends in Germany that were teachers, and they looped with their students from the lower grades to what would be our 8th grade. Do you teach maybe freshmen and sophomores and juniors and seniors, or do you loop with your students for 4 or 6 years?
We stay with our students for 8 years. And they start at age 10 and they finish our school at age 18.
That's all right. We'll help them out. Yeah.
The school system is very different. They start the academic high school in 5th grade.
Right, right.
So my students, when our students go in June and we visit their school, they're gonna run around a school with 5th graders. They're not used to that.
Yeah.
They don't like middle schoolers anymore. So it's very different to have little kids running around your high school, but it's a completely different experience.
Right.
And it's good because I think German is kind of that level. So they can talk to them.
Right.
Yeah, good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much.
Thank you.
All of the students, Germans as well as humanities.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to meeting in June and coming back on the 3rd of July and my students just, they mature and they see what the world is like and it's just amazing. So we are forever with.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're gonna be here all night, so you guys may want to go. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, we're getting it. Someone will get it. Maybe the lunch. I know. You okay? Yeah, it's all right. We'll take care of it. Yeah. That's all right. We'll clean it up. Yeah, we'll clean it up. Go on. Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Quietly in American food. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, thanks, Pamela.
Can't leave yet.
Just in the interest, I can just move us along because
Yeah,
nobody's
go on.
listening to our board reports. I
All
know.
right, take care.
Thank you, thank you, thank you
American food.
to the folks cleaning and thank you. That's definitely not, I guess that's other duties as assigned. I don't know.
That concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Clark. Thank
You're
you.
the one that wanted an audience.
I know. Thank you. I know. I know. Thank you. Doris, thank you for that. Thank you for sharing that. It's an amazing opportunity that some of our students get. Okay, we'll move on to board member reports. I'm going to surprise you all. I'll start with Trustee McFerrin.
All right. Good evening, everyone. I've had a great opportunity to go to some events put on by students. So first, I went to the instrumental music showcase event at Concord High, which is also their big fundraiser. That was on March 25th. It had a Disney theme, and I mean, as per usual, the music and just kind of the love and the support in the room was incredible, and so I enjoyed that very much. And then I followed that up with the MDUSD Honor Choir and Middle School Choir concert on March 28th, and saw a lot of folks there. Showed up kind of early and kind of thought, like, what am I going to do with all that time? And what I did is stand in line because it was very well attended. And so I am always glad to stand in line to see that level of support for our students. And it was absolutely warranted. I didn't know what it would be like to listen to like an elementary and middle school choir. And it was really, really impressive, like vocally. And I am not a good singer anymore, but I was in the San Francisco Girls Chorus as a child.
So
So,
was my classmate.
so I do know a little bit, just not anymore. But I appreciated that concert. It was incredible. And then on March 26th, I, along with others, stopped by College Park to for the meet and greet with the WASC visiting committee. And my own school site this year had a WASC visit, and I was a focus group leader, and I participated in WASC kind of on both sides as a visiting team member and as a focus group leader preparing for a WASC report or a WASC visit. And I know that it's a tremendous lift for everyone that's a part of the school community, staff members, administration, definitely the self-study coordinator who takes on that position, for parents, for students. And so I just really appreciated seeing those efforts firsthand and how well prepared the site seemed for the visit. And while I was there, I also really enjoyed an opportunity to check out the Wellness Center, which they told me had been really kind of, I think, set up this year. And I was kind of impressed with it being set up this year, how kind of effective that space is and how much thought was put into it. And so that was really cool to see. And then I went to the CAC last night, and there was a really, really important and thorough and well-attended discussion around addressing dyslexia. So I really found that interesting. And that is all I have to share for this evening.
Thank you. Trustee Mayo.
Well, we follow in each other's footsteps. I was at the College Park WASC. I went to the elementary and middle school choir performance, which was standing room only, and was at the CAC meeting last night, where the dyslexia information was shared and an overview of pending legislation, because the CAC will be advocating in Sacramento in May. I also met with the City of Pleasant Hill Council members, Sue Nowak and Matt Wren, on March 23rd. President Nzewe and Dr. Clark were there as well as the Pleasant Hill city staff members. The discussion was focused on school crossing guard needs, bike and walking, traffic safety, and safety in schools. I think that summarizes it generally. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee Mason.
I believe it might have been the day after our last meeting, the health fair that they had at Adult Ed for our students that are in the different pathways. And I got there during the last rotation, and they were still very actively engaged and learning all kinds of things, to how to splint a finger and take blood pressure and check their eyes. That was really cool. Then over the weekend, I went on the garden tour at the various schools. I went to Fair Oaks. I don't know if I don't know where their garden is or if nobody came, but I couldn't find anybody there. Then I went over to Cambridge, and I think at Cambridge, they had like 20 plus parents all out there working in the garden. Then I swung by to El Monte, where their garden, I remember from when I used to work in after school, they have a large garden in the back, but now the garden educator has put some beds in the front as well, which is really cool. And they were working out there, and the kids were excited because there was hummingbirds flying around, and They were getting, all of them getting the beds ready for summer crops. Then I shot over to Sun Terrace, where they were just finishing up with their garden educators. And were putting in a cool watering system where you put the clay pots upside down, put the water in it and cover them. And the kids had just finished that up and they were painting rocks to decorate their garden. And then I swung by Wren and they were putting up a weather station in the middle of the lawn area to track the weather for the garden. And they had 3 or 4 kids there working in the garden and enjoying themselves. So that was my garden tour. And then I went to the middle school music program with the rest of the board. And I would just say music is alive and well in Mount Diablo School District.
Thank you. Trustee Count.
All right, thank you. Wow, Trustee Mason, you made it to so many of the gardens. I'm really impressed, all in one day. So I too enjoyed both our instrumental and vocal choral concerts throughout our district, and I'm just so impressed with the passion of our teachers and our students. And it's so great to be back in person, to be having these concerts again. I also really enjoyed attending the CAC meeting last night on dyslexia. And I think one of the things that was really stood out to me about it was that we have an expert right here in our district. Kathy Futterman is known across the state. She's one of the people who co-wrote the dyslexia guidelines for the state of California. And she is an employee of the Mount Diablo School District. So I think it's so fantastic that we are really highlighting that, giving her a chance to speak to our parents and families, to help educate everybody about what are the best practices for dyslexia and for teaching people how to read in general, whether you have dyslexia or not. And so I'm just very excited about that resource. That group, the Dyslexia Task Force, group of very active parents, also shared out that Amplify, if you go to amplify.com, they have a whole series of webinars on the science of reading. So that's a free resource for people who want to learn what these best practices are right now, that we're trying to begin to implement in our district. And I also had attended the state of California is providing through Sacramento County Office of Education more opportunities to learn about best practices with dyslexia. And the one that I attended talked about specifically when it comes to dual language. What is it that teachers can be looking for in terms of the sounds that students know, in terms of phonics, and where the things overlap across multiple languages, for example, English and Spanish. So there's some really great best practices around that too. So there was also a public comment there that I thought was really interesting around the idea of if we were to be able to offer sign language in our high schools, that it would be a way of creating some inclusion and equity, because if we have students who have difficulty with the writing and sounds, for example, a student with dyslexia, but they need to meet their foreign language requirement for high school, for the A through G requirements, learning sign language could meet that requirement, and they would be able to learn a different language that doesn't have those same things that dyslexia could be challenging with. And similarly, our students with English as a second language could be learning sign language as another different form. And then also thinking about the inclusion of when more of our students are learning sign language, then we're including so much more of our student community and who they can communicate with as well. So I just thought that was a really fascinating comment. And lastly, I've gotten involved was invited by Kevin Wilk again, our city council member in Walnut Creek, to connect with a Japanese high school student exchange program that is happening this summer. And it's happening in the last week of July. And it is a partnership between this sort of, it's not officially the sister city program, but it's a friendship city between City of Walnut Creek and Kita City in Tokyo, Japan. And there will be 10 Japanese high school students coming in the last week of July. And so he made the introduction for me to be able to connect this group with Mount Diablo students who might be interested in being involved. So I've made introductions to Ignacio Valley High School with the International Baccalaureate Program and with Northgate High, and making connections with the Japanese Cultural Community Center that is right nearby on Treat Boulevard. And I'm just really excited about the possibilities of ongoing partnerships, both with our International Baccalaureate Program and with students in general, to be able to have these kinds of experiences like we saw with the German students tonight. So then that's all I have. Thanks.
Trustee Nava Flores.
So good afternoon, everyone. I also have kind of like a packed board report, but I'll try to summarize everything now. To start off, I want to recognize all the student activism that we have heard and that we have seen lately in our board meetings, in our communities, and in our schools. And again, just how we can encourage our students to be active members in our community and active members in our schools. And one way to achieve change in our systems is being involved in the school site council, being involved in having student leadership roles, such as the ASB title or the class president. And more or so, an even powerful position is being the student board member. And this is such an empowering and once in a lifetime opportunity that has many, many different aspects and many different experiences. But this is a position where essentially we do influence change. We do influence the decisions that we make here in this room that impact and influence our day-to-day lives as students. So I want to start off by reminding all students, all juniors, current juniors and sophomores, to apply to be the next student board member. This is available for all our high school students in Northgate, College Park, Concord High, YV, and Mount Diablo, but also in our continuation schools. So I really want to encourage all students to apply. And again, I am hosting application workshops Thursday. I've been hosting them Thursdays and Fridays, and we have our last two workshops this Thursday and this Friday from 5 to 6 p.m. The information is on the student board member page, and it is the same information, same Zoom link, same password and everything at the same time from 5 to 6. So I want to kind of go back now to the subject of STEM that we were discussing in the beginning. I want to recognize our HOSA members and our robotics members from our high school sites. So like I mentioned in my previous board report last month, HOSA has it's a program, and this is a club that essentially encourages and promotes students with opportunities in the medical field. It is located from my knowledge, at the YV and Mount Diablo site. And they went to a competition at the state capitol. And I want to recognize Sergeant Omar Edwards and Dr. Pintado for all of their knowledge that they have implemented into us, and also the skills that they've helped us develop. And relating to the robotics competition, I am aware that Northgate, College Park, and YV, and our new robotics team at Mount Diablo attended the competition at Davis. So I also just want to, the reason why I want to recognize these clubs is because they're clubs that focus on nourishing the learning environment in our schools, and also connect these students with opportunities, professionals in the workplace, etc. So it's really important for our schools to support them, whether that is means of funds, means of recruitment, or means of transportation. So now I kind of just want to get into touch of what I've been doing the last couple of weeks. I also attended the Pleasant Hill Choir and was able to network and connect with the music appreciation. And I want to also recognize the Mount Diablo Music Education Foundation. I connected with them, and I also connected with other students in how we can ensure and continue to support our music programs and music classes in our school district. And something that I discussed to them that I believe everyone should also hear is ensuring that all school sites are being supported the way that they should be supported and given the resources and opportunities that they have a right to. At Mount Diablo, we have a music program, but it's done so and run a different way than other high schools. And this has caused us to not have supports in our band, in our orchestra, in our choir. So in connecting with the Mount Diablo Music Education Foundation, I hope that we can help expand this and help connect other school sites that are struggling and provide that aid, and also providing aid throughout the district level. Like I mentioned to the governing board, I visited Stanford University as a field trip from the ETS and Upward Bound program. This is a program that is offered for our middle schools and high school sites, and those high school sites are YV, Concord High, and Mount Diablo. And they're selective in the middle schools that they do provide support and this program. But essentially this program provides and connects students with college readiness opportunities, familiarize them with the process, what it's like, what it means to stand out, and also provides them monthly workshops and weekly workshops in preparing for applying for the college during college application season, but also encouraging them to being college bound, giving them the resources, the classes, the summer classes that they also offer at DBC, and kind of getting them exposed to that environment and preparing them for the future and if they choose to go beyond. I also attended yesterday the ARE meeting, and there's an event that's coming up that I want to share with you all. On May 10th at Shore Acres at 5 p.m., there will be a folklorical performance. So I encourage all that are available to come by, say hi, and see kind of like a celebration of our culture and also a celebration of our students. I also want to announce that I have been working with the Food and Nutrition Services, and also they have helped me get connected with the Center of Eco-Literacy, and also have a news article published about the importance of providing high quality, diverse, and nutritional meals at our schools. Other students at Mount Diablo High School were interviewed, and that interview is publicized. And I just want to also encourage this to everyone else, that there is work going on in diversifying our school meals, but also ensuring that there is equity in that lens, and ensuring that we are implementing this in our school district the right way, an equitable way, and also kind of like reflecting our student population and their needs. I also want to share that I've been meeting with Mrs. Hartwig, and kind of like in the conversation of the implementation of ethnic studies in our school district, what that's going to look like, how we can reach out to teachers, students, people outside our school district, in our community college, in our universities, and current graduate students, and what it really means to have ethnic studies, to be a part of ethnic studies, and ensuring that those that are in those meetings, in that table, reflect in the importance and what ethnic studies is all about. And ensuring that, again, like I always mention, that this is done so with honor, dignity, and respect. Now moving on to the Student Advisory Committee. Last Wednesday, the last Wednesday of March 29th, we met with Erin Vallejo, the MDUSD Strategic Technology Planning Task Force. And we kind of just discussed what's been going on, what inequities and disparities we have faced within our school district in regards to internet access or technology. And a common theme was internet connection, having stronger connection in certain buildings, and having less a poor connection in certain buildings. And a positive thing that the district did during quarantine is that they provided hotspots, because a lot of the time as we're like moving on to online work, we have the means and some resources at our school sites. But when we go home, do all students have internet? Do all students have access to a reliable computer? And I know that the school district provides students laptops, but are they able to keep them there safe, transport them in a safely manner? So we discussed that with that, and we're planning to meet with them soon. And we also plan to meet with the LCAP committee and Jennifer Sachs in one of our upcoming meetings. And then I just want to share, again, echoing what Dr. Clark's announced, the Pride Prom is April 22nd. It is a free event, and it is an inviting and welcoming opportunity for our students that identify as LGBTQ, but also our allies. And so I invite those that are interested in attending to attend. I will be attending so I can provide feedback on how that went. But again, this is just another significant event that reflects on the changes that we are doing in our district, the actions that we're implementing, and encouraging, providing that safe and acceptance space for all of our students. And then I really want to quickly share that the AP exam season is approaching. And I wanted to encourage all students to check out the College Board website, as they do have some means of support and advice in what to study and what to focus on. And also the College Board website connects you with a lot of good scholarships. So just to conclude, as we are going through changes in our educational system and in our districts, just to ensure that we are having clear and constant communication and are ensuring that we are providing a safe and inviting environment for all of our students, reflecting and empowering the multicultural and multilingual community that we are a part of, and continue to create new leadership and new creativeness, and to also collaborate and make things happen between our students and our school, and continue to establish that strong foundation. But also remember that we are changing generational issues that are systemic issues, and it does take time, but it's important that we are doing this work and that we do it in a sense that all are a part and all are a part of the narrative and the changes that we are doing. And just to end off, it's just our main goal with our governing board and with our entire school district is to ensure educational justice and educational equity for all students and all people in our community. That concludes my board report.
Thank you so much, trustees. Do you hear that sound? Okay. Okay, sorry. Thank you so much. I don't have anything to report that hasn't been said. So I just want to reflect on this world has been crazy the last few weeks, and I'm disturbed by so many. If you're thinking it, I'm disturbed by that thing. Like, you name a thing, I'm extremely disturbed. Among them, relevant to us is like now the attack on public libraries. And so given that, I'm really thankful for our board and our community, that is not us, and I don't think it will be. And again, I'd reiterate, though, I'd also like to reiterate the pride I feel in our students standing up and voicing their opinions, being able to do it in 1 minute so eloquently, everyone did, getting their points across and their thoughts. And I think that's a reflection of the education that they're receiving and the support from the adults in their lives that they're receiving within our district. So I think we're on consent. Yes, 13.0, or yeah, 13. Well, no, is it 12? Because we moved 12. I don't know what it is. 13.0 consent agenda. Is there anything anyone would like to pull?
I would make a motion, we accept the consent agenda as presented.
Thank you.
Second.
Trustee Nava Flores.
Yes.
And that passes unanimously. So 16, business and action items. 16.1, review and potential approval of the 22-23 school site comprehensive school safety plans. We've reviewed these previously. So did you need to say anything, Dr. Clark?
No,
Or-
that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say,
Okay.
right? No
So-
presentation here.
So, can I get a motion?
I would make a motion that we approve the school safety plans as presented.
Second.
Sorry, trustee Nava Flores. I was getting confused by the item on the
Yes.
screen. Yes, thank you. We're
Sorry,
on
we have a little
16.1.
16. Why is this gonna take so much to take it 18, report on it out? And then do you have your course? I'm still not saying. Sorry,
Should,
we're, voice vote.
should we, okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, so trustee Nava Flores was a yes, and then trustee Count,
Yes.
trustee Mayo,
Yes.
trustee McFerrin,
Yes.
trustee Mason,
Yes.
and I vote yes. So that passes unanimously.
I apologize. Who made the motion and?
Trustee Mason made the motion and trustee Count second.
Thank you.
Okay. 16.2, review and a potential approval of Williams quarterly report for April 30th, 2023.
Madam President, I move to approve the Williams Quarterly Report, April 30th, 2023.
Second.
Trustee Nava Flores.
Yes.
That passes unanimously. 16.3, review and potential approval of academic regulation. Is that what it's called for real? 3541, transportation routes and services. AR. This is what we've. I know, that's what I was gonna ask. Is it administrative regulation? AR. And this is what we've discussed for 2 meetings, I think, as well. So
Madam President, I would move that the board adopt the AR 3541, Transportation Routes and Services as presented.
can I get a second?
Second.
Trustee Nava Flores.
Yes.
I have, wait,
Oh.
I have some questions.
Oh,
So we're adopting this as this is going to be our current transportation plan. Because I've already heard at the parent advisory meeting that not all kids in elementary schools are within 1.25 miles are being bused. And I know for sure in Bay Point, there are kids that live further away from Rio Vista than 1.25 miles that aren't bused. And there's also all our middle school kids that live anywhere south of the freeway are going more than 3 miles. So I just want us to be clear, because I know tomorrow you're going to get calls saying, when is the bus coming?
Right. So these numbers we're just going back to what we had before. There was a change in policy where they added boilerplate information. We're just changing it back to what it was before. And we do know that there is a need. We are in communication with some parents on that. We are in the process of getting a Google form out to see where our needs are and then putting a game plan together. Quite honestly, I don't know if that's going to happen this year, but it's something that we look for in August going forward. And then we can build that into our plan and see where we can service our students, given the staff shortages that we've all heard about nationally. But yes, that is a focus we have, yes.
And the last point, and I think you answered this at the last meeting, but just so we're clear, with the elementary kids, it would be a school bus. With the middle school and high school, it can also be local transit as an alternative, correct?
Correct. So with elementary kids, we're not going to put them on a transit bus. I just don't feel comfortable with that. I'm sure parents will say the same thing, as well as the board. Our middle school and our high school kids, we can issue and pay for bus passes for them to ride our local transits, which we are in connection or in contacts with of those students as well. So, yes.
I have a question. So if we go back pre-pandemic, right? We as a district, we provide transportation for special education students when it's written in their IEP.
Correct.
Correct. We don't provide transportation for all students who desire transportation, even if they live outside of the boundaries or outside of the miles.
Correct.
Because there's many districts that don't offer any general education transportation except special education when it's written into the IEP.
Correct. After the budget cuts of 2008 with the budget cuts of California and not just our district, transportation was reduced. And that's why I wasn't in the business at that time, but that's why we only focused on our special education, our students with disability, also our unhoused and our other Ms. Cound. She spoke on that on, I believe, the first meeting or the second meeting where you were focused on this, and
Probably
it just-
refugee and immigrant.
Thank you.
population.
I lose
Right.
it. So yes, we do focus on those because that's what our, now the state is funding us that, and that is our focus, right? We are legally contracted to transport our special education students as well as our others in our other groups. But our general ed, outside of our boundaries, we didn't because there just wasn't any funding. There will be funding for that now, so we can give those bus passes.
Okay. So I just want to be clear, even though it says in our policy what the range is, we didn't provide general ed transportation except in special circumstances. An example of that would be we closed Glenbrook. And so therefore we provide transportation from Glenbrook over to El Dorado Middle School. But transportation for general ed students who just live outside of the mileage has not been available in this district because of the budget cuts, shortage of staff, shortage of buses or whatnot. So even that we have this policy now, we're still we have a priority and we can't provide transportation to all, but we will continue to work within those priorities. So I think that kind of answers your question, Trustee Mason, or your concern that you expressed to him. And so anyway, just want to make sure anyone watching understands that. But like you said, a Google form, we collect more information about things like that, and then we can prioritize. And if we have the staffing and the funding, then we could do that. But if we don't, then we have to stick to what our priorities are.
Correct. That is absolutely correct.
Okay.
Thank you.
So just to follow up on that, I think maybe the confusion is in the wording of this, that it says students who reside beyond those distances listed shall be eligible for.
Yeah.
And so maybe some people are reading that as guaranteed to receive
Or
versus.
will be.
So,
It's shall,
It would be
not
shall.
will.
It would say students who live outside this mileage shall receive transportation. That would then obligate us to provide transportation to everyone. It doesn't say shall, it says we'll be eligible if we're able
yeah, it says shall be eligible is what I'm reading right
shall
here.
be eligible,
Yeah,
not
be
shall
eligible.
will.
So being
not shall.
eligible is not the same as guaranteed, is what I'm hearing. Okay.
Correct. It's not like our special education students where if they meet the certain criteria, we are obligated to provide transportation, as well as our Mount Diablo High School students. We are obligated to transport the students All this says is shall be eligible. Doesn't mean that you could have a bus because of our limitations, but we will do our best to try to, if there's a big group, there's 60 students out there, of course, right? We just have to see what we can do. Because as of now, we are stretched. And I'm sure you guys have heard our routes have gotten longer. They're not an hour, they're an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes, because we have more students on board. Because less drivers, more students that we have to transport.
Yeah, so I think that, going back to just sort of status quo on the policy is what's needed at this moment. But going forward, as we look at this, I feel like it would be helpful to have within our policy what our priorities are. So that in terms of equity, we're really meeting the needs of the students who most need transportation for various reasons, right?
Personally, myself, I do look at it in an equity lens. Being a minority myself, that's what I do that. And I see where the needs are, and we do our hardest to do that. Like I said, I don't like to say no. I say, let me look at it. Let me get this information. Let me gather it all together. If we can do it, we're going to do it. Right. I believe we had a conversation with one of our parents, our community group, that there was kids out in the Morgan territory. So that's where this information gathering is going to come from. Unfortunately, I can't do it fast enough because our admin is out with a knee replacement. So it probably would have been done already, but she's working her way back. We
Right,
just
but then
need to-
as we go forward, we want to make sure we're gathering that type of information anywhere, not just necessarily because we hear from one person, or another.
Right.
We
right.
want to make sure that we really are looking at all of the areas, like, for example, Rio Vista as well. So just, be mindful of that going forward. I know that you already are mindful of equity and of meeting the highest needs first, but we haven't written that into the policy yet. And so that's what I'm saying is that as we go forward, and if we look at this policy again, so that that equity mind can move forward even beyond our terms on the board, that I would like to see us think about how we can, introduce that into the written policy.
Thank you. So we had the motion, we had the second. Trustee Noble Flores voted yes, and the rest of us have it before us. And that passes unanimously. Thank you. 16.4, review and potential approval of revision to board policy and administrative regulation 5145.7, sexual harassment.
Attorney Alvarado is going to take this item.
Good evening, members of the board. Good evening, Dr. Clark. So before you is a potential revision of our board policy with regards to sexual harassment. While the changes that are incorporated may seem minor, these are actually critical because they incorporate requirements under Title IX, which are mandatory and need to be incorporated as soon as possible, which is why we're bringing this as for information and action all together. They serve as a foundation for our entire Title IX program, which we are now in the process of overhauling, reviewing, and updating. And they will incorporate a number of other changes that we may bring forth in the future. But at this point, we need the foundation upon which to build that and to rebuild it. And so I bring it to you and leave it to you for your consideration and for approval tonight.
Would anyone like to make a motion on this, the 50th anniversary year of Title IX?
Madam President, I move to approve the revisions to BP and AR 5145.7, sexual harassment as presented.
I'll second that.
Trustee Nava Flores,
Yes.
Passes unanimously. We have we'll skip ahead. We do not have any closed session carryover. So 19.0, any future agenda items to propose here that you haven't proposed with Dr. Clark? Okay. Then the end. We are adjourned. 5 minutes past what I guess